He was Earth's strongest shield until he started tearing it apart. The virus wasn't from Krypton or Earth. It was older than both. Superman knew. He watched, and he stayed silent. Why? Because it was his blood that activated it. Now Hulk doesn't rage. He mutates. And the Man of Steel finally speaks. But only after the Avengers start falling. Metropolis didn't shake often, but today the ground cracked open. The skies turned green before the clouds even realized they were being poisoned. Buildings groaned. Airplanes rerouted. Birds didn't fly, they screamed. Across every major news station, one word flickered like a stutter in the signal. Hulk. But it wasn't Hulk anymore. Not the one they knew. He had landed, or rather crashed, in the middle of the city, carving out a crater 10 blocks wide. He wasn't roaring. He wasn't smashing. He was twitching, shivering. His body pulsed like it was alive inside itself. His skin bubbled in slow waves, muscles rearranging like a Rubik's Cube made of flesh. And watching from above, cape fluttering like gilt in the wind, was Superman. He hovered silently, not because he didn't want to speak, but because he couldn't. 3 hours earlier, deep beneath SDR Labs, in a room even Batman didn't know existed, Tony Stark and Superman were face to face. Not arguing, but close. A silver case sat between them. It wasn't locked. It didn't need to be. What was inside wasn't a weapon, not directly, but it had changed everything. Where did you get this? Stark asked, eyes never blinking. Superman didn't answer right away. His jaw clenched once, then softened. Outer rim of a destroyed Kryptonian colony. They were experimenting with bioweapons to survive radiation storms. But something older hijacked it. Stark frowned. You brought it here? No, Clark said quietly. I buried it in the sun. I thought it was destroyed. Tony opened the case. Inside, a single vial. Black fluid sloshed with a slow, thick movement like it was thinking. Alive? Angry? It showed up again, Tony muttered, in Banner's bloodstream. Superman stepped back. That's not possible. Tell that to the Hulk that just turned 2 Sentinels inside out without touching them. Now, back in the crater, Hulk's head tilted sharply, unnaturally. His bones cracked audibly, and then his face split open. Not broken, not bleeding, splitting, like a mouth within a mouth. His voice echoed from somewhere deeper than his lungs. Kal-El? Superman didn't flinch, but his heart stuttered. Hulk had never used that name, not even Banner. Not once. He descended. Slowly, every camera turned. Phones live-streamed. Billions watched. No one understood what they were seeing. Not yet. But Superman knew. He landed 3 feet from the twitching, mutated Hulk. Smoke rose from the Green Giant's shoulders, but it wasn't heat. It was shedding. The skin was beginning to peel, like a cocoon made of muscle. Superman whispered, Bruce, don't let it in. Hulk laughed, but it wasn't laughter. It was like gravel being crushed beneath metal. Bruce is sleeping, and you let me in. Then the earth beneath them cracked again. Inside the watchtower, Wonder Woman stared at the monitors. Flash zipped beside her, chewing what was left of a protein bar. You're seeing this too, right? Flash asked. She nodded slowly. That's not rage. That's evolution. Should we go down? She didn't answer immediately. Then no, not yet. Superman knows something, and I think he's scared. Back on the ground, Hulk's new form stood tall. Taller than ever. He was no longer green. He was veined black, like obsidian with emerald light flickering beneath the cracks. His spine had tripled in size, protruding with sharp, jagged fins. His eyes no longer glowed green. They swirled with galaxies. He wasn't just infected. He was becoming the virus, and it was speaking through him. I remember Krypton, the voice said. I remember your father's lab. I remember screaming inside that sun you buried me in. Superman stepped forward. I didn't know you survived. You lied, it growled. You always knew. That's why you stayed close to the Hulk. Watching, waiting, hoping it wouldn't surface. A sudden burst, Hulk's arm swung, faster than ever before. Superman blocked it barely, and was thrown 1/2 mile into a skyscraper. Glass shattered like thunder. Steel screamed. The world held its breath. In Wakanda, Shuri tapped furiously at a console. This isn't gamma radiation anymore, she said to Chalia's hologram. It's rewriting itself, adapting faster than nanotech. How do we stop it? The king asked. Her fingers froze. We don't. Back in Metropolis, Superman emerged from the rubble, bleeding. He never bled, but the virus had learned. It remembered Kryptonian cells. It had lived inside his blood, once dormant maybe, but awake now. And it wanted back in. Kal-El, the thing wearing Hulk's body, rumbled. You are the key. Your cells complete me. Bruce's rage is the engine, but your DNA is the ignition. Then it lunged, faster than ever before. Even Superman couldn't dodge. The punch landed, but instead of breaking bones, it pierced flesh. And Hulk, no, the virus, bit into Superman's neck. The skyline exploded with green and black lightning, and the world saw something it never thought possible. Superman falling, not from weakness, but from guilt, because he had brought the virus to Earth. And now, it had found its perfect host. Superman dropped, not like a wounded hero, like a man who just witnessed his own future unravel. Blood, not green, not red, but something between both, oozed from his neck. His knees hit the cracked street first, then his fists, then his heart, and the thing wearing Hulk's body smiled. But this smile wasn't Hulk. This was the virus finally recognizing itself in the mirror. You feel it, don't you? The creature rumbled, standing taller than ever. Your cells bending. Superman looked up, eyes flickering with crimson light. But his pupils were changing, not dilating, shifting, turning oval. Alien. He clenched his fists to stop the trembling. But the truth was undeniable. The virus wasn't just inside Hulk anymore. It had jumped across the world in the Batcave. Every alarm flared red. Batman stood frozen in front of a massive screen. Data streamed faster than his AI could analyze. He didn't need confirmation. The virus had become airborne. What the hell did you do, Clark? He whispered. Beside him, Damian Wayne leaned forward. That's not Bruce anymore, is it? No, Batman replied coldly. And that's not Superman either. Not for long. He turned to the armory wall. Call everyone. Justice League. Young Justice. Titans. Wakanda. X-Men. Anyone still breathing? Damian raised a brow. Even Doom. Batman didn't hesitate. Especially Doom. Miles above Earth, inside a bio-sealed vault within the X-Men's orbital station, Beast examined the spreading anomaly with trembling hands. It was rewriting Kryptonian DNA faster than any virus he'd ever seen. It's not trying to kill him, he muttered. It's merging. Storm entered, her voice sharp. Can we stop it? Beast didn't look up. We can't even understand it. It's older than Gamma, older than Krypton. It's not evolution. It's replacement. Back in Metropolis, the sky shattered. A boom, louder than sound, cracked the clouds as Thor hurled Mjolnir into the creature's chest. Lightning exploded on contact. The Hulk thing staggered backward, molten skin peeling where lightning struck. But it didn't fall. Thor landed beside Superman's motionless body. Friend Kal, get up. Superman opened his eyes, and they weren't Kryptonian anymore. Not fully. One was glowing blue, the other swirling green. I can feel everything, he said quietly. The virus is talking to me. Thor raised his hammer. Then speak louder. Above them, Iron Man swooped in with a Wakandan-built satellite cannon locked on the mutated Hulk. Pulse beams charged. If it doesn't kill him, it'll vaporize the city. From his comms, Shuri's voice crackled. That thing is adapting by the second. You have one shot. Story of my life, Stark muttered. He fired. A white beam of condensed anti-gamma radiation screamed from the sky and slammed into the Hulk creature like Judgment Day. Everything went white, then black, then quiet. When the smoke cleared, the crater was gone. And so was Hulk. No body, no bones, no ash, only silence. Iron Man hovered, breathing fast. Did we? Then a hand grabbed his ankle midair and yanked him down. He crashed into the pavement, armor crumpling like paper. As he struggled to rise, a shadow fell over him. The Hulk stood tall, but now he had wings. Obsidian, bat-like wings of warped muscle stretched from his back, veined with silver lightning. His voice was deeper now, like it came from the planet's core. You tried to erase me, he growled, and you taught me how to survive death. Superman flew again, not willingly. His body moved on instinct. The virus was threading through his nervous system like electricity searching for a fuse box. He tried to resist, but every punch he threw felt too strong. Every word he spoke echoed twice, once as Clark, once as something else. He reached for Hulk. They clashed midair. The sound alone shattered windows across 5 states. A shockwave pulsed out like a nuclear scream. Planes rerouted. Satellites blinked offline. The world watched as two gods collided in silence and fury. But something was off. Superman was matching him. Not in rage, in sync. Each movement flowed like choreography. Hulk swung, Superman dodged. Superman struck, Hulk weaved. Their battle wasn't a war. It was a conversation between a virus and its reflection. On Themyscira, Diana gripped her sword, watching the sky darken unnaturally. She whispered to Hippolyta, "The stars are dimming." Her mother frowned. "Not dimming, hiding." Diana turned. "Why?" "Because something older than them has awakened, and it wants everything." In Latveria, Dr. Doom stood atop his fortress, capes swirling violently. He watched the storm growing above Metropolis, fingers twitching with excitement. "They'll call me soon," he said, lips curled in disdain. "And when they do, I'll make them beg." Back in the crater, Superman and Hulk slammed into the earth like meteors. The ground split open. Lava boiled beneath the concrete. Superman coughed blood, this time black. He looked up, eyes glassy. "It's inside my mind now. I see its home, its memories. It was never just a virus." Hulk tilted his monstrous head. "What is it, Cal?" Superman's voice cracked. "It's a god." Far across the galaxy, inside the ruins of a forgotten Kryptonian lab, a single beacon blinked for the first time in centuries. It read one word, Extra-X. And in a frozen chamber, something began to move. In Metropolis, Flash arrived too late. "What the hell am I looking at?" he whispered, staring at the winged Hulk and the half-mutated Superman hovering above burning streets. Cyborg crackled in through his comms. "Not what, Barry?" "Who?" "That's Extra-X." Flash blinked. "The virus?" "No," Cyborg replied. "The virus is just its voice." Superman was breaking. Not physically, morally. He looked at the people below, screaming, running, burning. He tried to contain it. He tried to bury the truth. But the virus was never just Kryptonian. It wasn't even born. It was summoned. He remembered his father's secret projects, the ones even Jor-El didn't want anyone to see. Bioengineering, weaponized evolution. He remembered one note burned into steel. Never activate with Kryptonian blood. And now it was too late. He looked at Thor. "If I change, if I lose control, kill me." Thor raised Mjolnir without a word. Then Superman turned to Hulk and smiled. "Let's finish this." The night didn't fall. It collapsed. Skies above Metropolis turned black not from smoke, but from something older than clouds, like the sky itself had recoiled. The stars disappeared. Light twisted at the edges of the atmosphere, refusing to shine on what stood at the center of the ruined city. Two gods, no longer men, floated above the ruins. Superman and Hulk, but not as the world knew them. They were half creature, half memory. The virus had wrapped its tendrils around them both, connecting them like twin nodes in a biological circuit. And somewhere in that circuit, something else was awakening. Below, Batman stood on a rooftop, his cape slicing through the heat, eyes locked on the monsters above. Alfred's voice rang faintly through the comms. "Sir, the readings are climbing. Gamma, Kryptonian, quantum, even some we don't have names for." Bruce didn't flinch. "They're not fighting anymore." "What do you mean?" "They're sinking." High above Earth's orbit, Jean Grey screamed. Not aloud, in every mind on the planet. The phoenix inside her trembled. Not in rage, in fear. "It's not Hulk," she gasped, gripping her head. "And it's not Clark. The virus, it's become sentient. It's rewriting them one thought at a time." Storm stepped forward. "Can we burn it out?" Jean looked at her with eyes flickering red and gold. "If I burn, I won't stop." Back on Earth, Hulk's body twitched again. Then he changed. Bones snapped, but no longer to grow, to multiply. Arms split into 4. His rib cage burst outward and reassembled around him like armor. Black wings twisted into claws, then retracted, then pulsed again like lungs. His head expanded, crown-like growths forming around his skull. This was not evolution. This was conversion. And Superman? He didn't stop him. He matched him. Cracks rippled across his chest. glowing green veins slithering through his Kryptonian suit. His heat vision flickered not red, but ultraviolet, invisible to the human eye. His voice, when he finally spoke, carried two tones. "It's time." Hulk grinned. "Yes, bring him." Deep below Gotham, hidden beneath miles of reinforced steel, a locked chamber began to hiss. Inside sat a man in silence, not restrained, not asleep, just still, until the steel door slid open and Batman entered alone. The man looked up, cold eyes, shaved head, muscles carved from war, a smirk without joy. "You're early," he said. Batman tossed a file onto the table. Inside, blurry photos of Superman bleeding black, Hulk with wings, a symbol glowing beneath Metropolis streets. The man opened the file, read, closed it, then stood. "What do you need?" Batman didn't hesitate. "Kill Clark, slow down Hulk, and if they merge, I end the Earth." Lex Luthor nodded. Finally, on the watchtower, Wonder Woman strapped her gauntlets tighter than ever before. Across from her, Martian Manhunter floated midair, vibrating faintly. "They're not infected," he said. "They're inviting it in." Diana narrowed her eyes. "Then we cut it out." He frowned. "If you strike Clark now, he won't stop you." "Good." Back in Metropolis, the fusion began. Hulk and Superman didn't collide. They connected. A web of energy erupted between them, laced with symbols neither Kryptonian nor Earthborn. Glyphs glowed in the air, living, shifting letters older than language. People nearby fell to their knees, not from force, but from understanding. The truth was being broadcast straight into the human mind. Memories of a world that died before stars were born. A virus that fed not on bodies, but potential. It didn't kill. It improved. And it had chosen these two titans to be its harbingers. "I see it all," Superman whispered. "What I could be, what I should have been." "No rules," Hulk growled. "No limits." Then an explosion of red lightning struck between them, and Wonder Woman landed in the blast. Her lasso wrapped around Hulk in less than a second, glowing like a sun. "Tell me your name," she roared. The Hulk twitched, then laughed. "You wouldn't survive the pronunciation." She pulled the rope tighter. "Then give me your fear." The voice that replied was neither Bruce nor the virus. It was something else. "I fear only one thing." Then he turned his massive head. "That Kal-El will resist me." Superman grabbed the lasso too, not to stop her, to share the link. His voice cracked. "Diana, it's not just a parasite. It's showing us the future. A perfect world. No death. No pain. Just strength." She stared into his eyes, and for a second she saw everything he did. A peaceful planet. Cities built by thoughts. No famine. No war. But also no love. No free will. No humanity. She yanked the lasso away. "That's not peace. That's control." Superman faltered. His eyes flickered again, red, then green, then clear. "I'm losing." A new boom echoed from the skyline. But this wasn't Superman. Wasn't Hulk. It was Lex, clad in armor unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Black steel laced with celestial fragments, powered by anti-Kryptonian tech and gamma siphons. He landed between them like a judge at the end of time. "I've waited years for this," Lex said, raising his palms. "For you two to finally become the monsters I always said you were." Superman gritted his teeth. "You don't understand." "No, Clark," Lex sneered. "I understand perfectly." He fired. The blast hit Hulk first, a beam of collapsing gravity wrapped in kryptonite mist. The virus screamed. Hulk howled. His body spasmed violently, trying to hold its shape. Then Lex turned the beam on Superman. "You brought this here. You buried it. You let it grow." Superman dropped to one knee. "I tried to stop it." Lex marched forward, gun still humming. "You lied to the world. You let this thing into him. And now you want forgiveness?" Superman looked up, eyes fully red again. "I want redemption." Lex smirked, then bleed. He fired again. Far above Earth, a small crack appeared in the moon's surface. No explosion, no sound, just a line. Like the virus had looked at the moon and decided it was irrelevant. and below something new formed inside Hulk's chest. A third eye, a blinking, swirling eye glowing like a dying star. And when it opened, every bird in the sky fell. Jean Grey screamed again. This time, the phoenix did not tremble. It unleashed, and for the first time in centuries, it flew toward Earth. The sky burned like a warning flare across the cosmos. Something massive descended from orbit, not a meteor, not a ship. It was her, the Phoenix Force. Jean Grey's body was no longer just human. Her skin cracked with golden fire, her hair a solar storm. As she dropped through the stratosphere, her scream was heard inside every mind on Earth. She didn't land. She ignited. The moment she touched the ground, time slowed. The Hulk thing and Superman turned in unison, both sensing what no mortal could see, raw cosmic judgment. Phoenix stepped between them, eyes glowing white-hot. "You've gone too far," she said, voice vibrating through atoms. Superman took a step forward, trembling. "Jean, I can still fight it." "No, Clark," she whispered, reading his fractured thoughts. "You already made the deal." Above them, Hulk spread his wings wider. A second mouth opened across his chest, pulsing like a portal. Black light bled from his bones. "He doesn't belong to you anymore," the creature roared. Phoenix raised her hand. The ground ripped open beneath them, molten earth spiraling into the air like gravity had inverted. The sky collapsed into flame. Every window in the city exploded. And yet the virus laughed. Phoenix burned hotter. Still it laughed, because it wasn't afraid of being destroyed. It wanted to be reborn. Behind her, Lex Luthor tried to run another scan, but his tech failed instantly. The heat, the force, the psychic feedback, nothing worked. He shouted into the comms, "We need to pull back. Phoenix is unleashing too much." But no one responded, because all around the world, psychics dropped unconscious. Jean was speaking to the planet. "I will burn the infection out of you," she told Hulk. "You can try," the virus snarled. And then the war began. They clashed in the sky, Phoenix blazing across the atmosphere, Hulk mutating midair with every blow. His skin split, then regenerated, then morphed into crystal armor. He absorbed fire, bent light, and countered with void energy. No longer just strength, now strategy. Jean screamed, her fire cutting across the heavens like a sword of judgment. But each time she struck, the virus learned. Below, Superman hovered in stillness, caught between two destinies. He felt the virus still threading through his cells. Not complete, not dominant, but close. He looked down at Earth, the people watching, hiding, praying. He looked at Diana, bloodied and gasping. Then at Lex, battered but standing. And finally at his own hands, which no longer looked fully human. Then he made his decision. He rose, faster than sound, faster than thought, straight into the heart of the Phoenix battle. Hulk and Jean both turned mid-fight as Clark surged between them, voice booming louder than thunder. "Take me." Jean's flames halted. Hulk tilted his head. "What?" Superman opened his arms. "Take the virus. Take the force. Take everything. End me, but end it too." Phoenix stared at him, her eyes full of fire and sorrow. "No one survives this." "I'm not supposed to," Clark said softly. Then he looked at Hulk. "Let go of him." A pulse of golden light spread from his chest, not from Jean, but from within Superman himself. Something ancient buried inside his Kryptonian blood, an immunity Jor-El never understood. The virus screamed. Hulk screamed. Then Superman flew straight into him. A shockwave detonated across space. Not just Earth. Satellites in Mars' orbit went dark. The moon cracked again. The ocean near Japan rose 200 feet. And in that one burning moment, both Superman and Hulk vanished. Only Jean remained, hovering where they'd been, falling slowly, silent. Her flames flickered out. She whispered into the wind, "He chose us." And then she too collapsed from the sky. In a void that followed, the world held its breath. No one cheered. No one celebrated, because no one knew if it was over or if the virus had simply found a better place to hide. The world stood quiet. No pulse in the sky. No rumble beneath the ground. No glowing symbols, no second sun, just silence. Where Hulk and Superman had vanished, only ash remained, swirling, glowing faintly, as if their atoms still refused to settle. Lex Luthor stood at the edge of the crater, armor cracked, breathing heavy. "They're gone," he muttered. Wonder Woman knelt beside the scorched earth. Her gauntlets sizzled. Her eyes didn't blink. "No," she said. They're transcended. Jean Grey hovered just above, burnt but alive. Phoenix fired dim around her. They didn't die, she whispered. They merged, just not the way the virus wanted. Far across the globe, every psychic felt it. A shadow had been lifted, but something else had taken its place. In Wakanda, Shuri's lab lit up with new data, patterns no human could write. Not language, not numbers, code. And at its center, blinking in Kryptonian. Extracts contained. Source? Unknown. She frowned. That's not possible. Then her AI beeped once. A new symbol appeared. It wasn't Kryptonian. It wasn't human. It was Banner's DNA fused with Kal-El's. Beneath the Arctic, hidden inside the Fortress of Solitude, the walls began to hum. Machines Jor-El left behind activated without command. Lights flickered to life, and a single pod, long buried beneath crystal and silence, opened. Inside it was nothing, only a faint green mist swirling upward, disappearing into the air. The AI of Jor-El spoke only one line. The virus was never the end. It was an invitation. At the Xavier Institute, Jean stood in the garden, barefoot in the grass. Logan approached behind her, quiet as ever. Is it over? He asked. Jean didn't turn. No. He tensed. You mean the virus? I mean Clark. She looked at the sky. He's still there. Not dead. Not alive. Not fully human. Not fully God. Logan grunted. Great. Another cosmic maybe. She finally turned. No, Logan. This time he's watching. 1 week later, over a ruined part of New York, the clouds split. Not thunder. A voice. It echoed in every language, every brain, every heart. Not a warning. A choice. You've tasted our evolution. You saw what we offered. You rejected it, but you remember. We will not force you again. But know this, the next host won't be so gentle. The sky returned to silence. And in that silence, a red cape fluttered through the clouds. But no one could see who wore it. In a sealed vault under Gotham, Batman recorded one final message. If this reaches anyone, know that Superman chose Earth. He gave up the galaxy for us. But the virus learned him, studied him. He paused, and it left a copy. He shut the terminal, walked into the dark, locked the door from the inside. In a hospital room, a young boy who had never walked before suddenly stood. His eyes glowed faintly green, then red, then both. The nurse gasped, but the boy just smiled. I dreamed of a place with no pain, he whispered. Outside the window, the wind carried a single echo. Kal-El is not gone. Back in Metropolis, a mural was painted over the crater. It showed Superman and Hulk back to back. But behind them, a third shadow, larger than both. Unknown, waiting. And below it, written in Kryptonian and Latin. From sacrifice, rebirth. From silence, the final scream.